I'm Mike,
And I'm Matt.
and this is The Coin Show.
Take just one last breath before you enter.
On this episode of The Coin Show, Matt, Mike, and Sam will discuss capped bust quarter eagles. And we'll talk about the coolest thing to walk into Matt's shop this week. But first, as always, the news.
I love the news.
The news is brought to you by the American Numismatic Association and the biggest show of the summer, the 2015 World's Fair of Money, coming to the Chicago suburb of Rosemont, Illinois, August 11th through 15th. Sign up now at worldsfairofmoney.com. Matt,
Yes, sir.
we have epic news this week.
I love epic
Yes, we
news.
have epic news. The United States Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee has named a new chairperson.
Mike Nodelman?
No, unfortunately.
Oh.
I personally think that, that would be an excellent choice, but unfortunately, nobody nominated me, and I don't think Congress really has any idea who I am.
I don't think you get nominated. I think you actually have to apply for it, Mike. So maybe you should do that.
Well, maybe someday. Mary N. Lannon of San Rafael, California, has been appointed to chair the committee effective June 1st, 2015. She replaces Gary Marks, who will remain on the committee. He was the chairman until his term expires later this year. Ms. Lannon is a life member of both the American Numismatic Association and the American Numismatic Society, and is currently a member of many other numismatic societies, including the San Francisco Ancient Numismatic Society, the Swiss Numismatic Society, and the Royal Numismatic Society.
Sounds like somebody we really want influencing the American coinage design.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's at least got her ear to the ground.
Oh, I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, do you not like ancient coins? Do you not
I
like...
like ancients, but what does that have to do with modern American coinage? I mean, why
You
would
don't
we want
like
somebody...
modern American coinage.
I would like it if it was actually decent.
Well, maybe an influence of new ideas might do something.
No.
Hope, Matthew. Always hope.
I specifically remember some other person using hope as their campaign
Stop it.
slogan.
Stop it.
Putting that out there.
Stop it.
Just putting that out there.
Her background appears to be as a freelance editor focusing on numismatic publication. I just hope she helps to bring more creativity and better designs to our nation's coinage,
Yeah.
as I'm sure you do.
I just want nice coins.
Yeah. Secondary market values appear strong for the March of Dimes silver sets.
Yeah, I saw that.
Originally priced at $61.95, the secondary market for these sets appears to have doubled their value, and the market for NGC and PCGS certified 70 sets are astronomically high at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, the big winner of the set, piece by piece, appears to be the reverse proof Roosevelt dime, which is exclusive to this set. Coin News...
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
Well, no, it is. And I cover that later. You'll find out why. CoinNews.net is reporting that a PCGS 70 example brought $300 on eBay as recently as Wednesday of last week.
Oh, boy.
Now, I would caution our listeners that before you get all revved up on these coins, understand that the coins have yet to be completely distributed by the mint, and because of this, the market is really volatile, and hardly ready to settle. It's like typically once they're all distributed, and then flippers kind of do their thing, and it gets spread out a bit. Then they tend to
Yeah.
settle as far as value.
I always tell people that come into the store, I always say, if you see something that you really want from the mint and it's going to be one of those things that you may or may not get a chance to order, if you don't get it bought straight from the mint, wait like a year and a half, and then you'll be able to buy it cheaper, probably 90% of the time.
Well, there's been a very heated discussion going on Coin Talk about these sets and how they're the coin of the century and all this kind of stuff. And what I have used as an example, and I think is a really good example, is the 1999 silver proof set. 99 silver proof set for a long time sold for over $300.
I paid the most I ever paid for one of those was I think $325. What I paid for it through the door to a customer.
Yeah,
and now you can buy them for $90.
right, because time has kind of spread them out. They were concentrated in a very small area when they first came out, and I think that's kind of the case with a lot of mint sets. You get the guys that go in and they kick down the door and they get as many of them as they can, and not as many people that want them can get them.
Yeah.
And then over time it kind of works its way out. Speaking of reverse proof coins, there are others on the way this year.
Wonderful.
June 30th will mark the release of the Harry S. Truman Coin and Chronicles set. Now, this set will feature a Truman inauguration medal and a reverse proof Truman dollar. The 4 Coin and Chronicles sets for 2015 will all feature reverse proof presidential dollars. We've covered this before. And have a mintage of 17,000 sets, with the exception of the JFK set, which will have a mintage of 25,000 sets. Now, I think that it's interesting to note that the reverse proof sets, rumored to be produced this year, have yet to be announced or scheduled. But for those curious, and I think this addresses the comment that you made earlier, for those curious as to whether or not it will give them another shot at a reverse proof Roosevelt dime or a presidential dollar, all information related to these sets points towards their production at San Francisco, which would make them different from the March of Dimes reverse proofs and the Coin and Chronicles set presidential dollars, which were and will be produced at the Philadelphia Mint. So there will be P and S reverse proofs. Oh, goody.
Oh, look at me shaking my head. I cannot handle it. It's bad. It's bad.
Gold and silver prices are down, and that has sparked a rally for U.S. Mint bullion coin sales.
Yes, sir.
Weekly gold sales were the highest in 11 weeks, and silver sales were the strongest since the week the Silver American Eagles were released in January.
I ordered a Monster Box this week.
There you go. This, according to a CoinNews.net story. The silver sales are all Silver American Eagles, apparently because the 5-ounce hockey pucks are currently sold out. The next puck will be released June 22nd and will honor Blue Ridge Parkway National Park.
Those are flopped.
Matt Dinger has given it a resounding thumbs down.
Just calling it like I see it. Calling a spade, my friend.
Okay, well, speaking of a resounding thumbs down, an NGC EF45 1793 Vine and Bard's Edge Flowing Hair Large Scent. You say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, right.
With a wreath reverse, was sold at auction May 20th for a whopping $70,000. Mm-hmm. Now, if this sounds like a lot for the coin, first I want to say bravo to you because you know your coin prices. Yeah. And then I want to tell you why this one sold for so much. A typical EF coin, EF45 coin, would sell between 25 and 50,000. But this particular coin orbited the Earth 206 times aboard Gemini 7 in 1965, unbeknownst to NASA.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There is sufficient documentation to verify that this coin indeed did make the trip into space, and NGC has noted the fact on the holder. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, Matt, but I think it's nothing more than a novelty and profiteering, and certainly does not deserve the $20,000 bump in value that it garnered.
I mean, the way I look at it is, it's cool. It's got a really cool story. Um, but yeah, I guess I can understand it being like the only coin from that era that's ever been into space, yada yada yada. But it just depends on how much of that kind of stuff you collect. If you collect coins and also space memorabilia, well, boom, that's right up your alley.
Well, I think it was the movie The Right Stuff,
Mm-hmm.
where and I don't know how much of it was poetic license and how much was actual fact, but it was suggested that Gus Grissom took a bunch of personal objects with him up into space so that he could bring them down and kind of sell them off and as space objects. And
Yeah.
there were Mercury dimes and things like that he took. So I don't think that the idea is by any means original. That profiteering off of it has been kind of a sport.
Yeah.
But
It's got a cool story, but
you know what though?
does
I
it?
mean, here's the thing: is that the owner sent it into space simply because he thought it would make it worth more.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we doing as a coin collecting public but rewarding him for doing exactly that?
Yeah. Well,
I think it was particularly
good on him then. I guess he had a good idea.
yeah. Well, I think with as precise as things had to be, with as scientific as they were, about payload and things like that, that clandestinely bringing things on board
That's
could
the
have
safety
had
stuff for you.
catastrophic consequences. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm looking for a reason to poo-poo it.
So what you're telling me is on Apollo 13, they had a whole roll of Morgan dollars
Maybe,
or something, right?
maybe.
And that caused
That's
yeah.
yeah.
No.
I'm sure it was something like that. Some
No.
profiteer angle.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's it.
PCGS has created a new holder for their certified coins.
Yeah, we've got a couple of
Really?
these. Yep.
Already. That's great.
Yes. Yep, we've been playing with them.
The redesigned holders featured an embedded hologram and a QR code on each label. All coins submitted to PCGS are now placed into the new design slabs. Don Willis is quoted as saying that this is the most technically advanced holder that PCGS has ever offered. The new holders have many new security features, both apparent and not apparent, that will assist PCGS in identifying counterfeit holders. PCGS has created a webpage that describes many of the features of these new holders. It can be found at pcgs.com/security. NGC, not to be outdone by PCGS, has also evolved and has released a new tokens and metals census.
Huh.
Did you see this?
No, that's pretty cool.
The new census is available for free at ngccoin.com and now gives collectors the opportunity to evaluate the rarity of their tokens and metals relative to the populations.
Yeah, because they've been certifying them for quite a while.
Exactly, and to not know, where they are, relative to other ones.
Yeah, well, and like we have, I think 200 Civil War tokens sitting in NGC right now, so they'll be in there.
There you go. NGC President Richard Montgomery says that the census will create, quote, numerous research opportunities in this important field of numismatics. And I agree.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Germany will be the first mint in the world to issue a coin comprised of 3 components.
3 components.
Coinweek.com is reporting that the German government is planning to release a coin with 2 metallic rings and a polymer ring placed between them.
Polymer ring, like a washer?
Yeah, kind of like that. It'll be separating the 2 different the 2 different metallic pieces.
Is it a hard polymer? I would assume so.
Well, I'm sure that it's not tremendously flexible because otherwise you'd be able to pop the center out. I mean, I kind of,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah.
That'd be,
Denominated at €5, the planet Earth coin will weigh 9 grams and feature the globe surrounded by different bodies, both planetary and otherwise, from outer space. The polymer ring is blue and represents the Earth's atmosphere. Now, the German government plans to issue the coin in both circulation, strike, and proof.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this has been the most epic news yet.
Well, this is going to be the most epic episode
Hopefully.
yet.
And finally, in the news, for those of you that can't wait to get past it, mintnewsblog.com has released a list of the approved 2016 through 2018 commemorative coin programs. 2016 will see both the Mark Twain commemorative and a National Park Service Centennial commemorative program. 2017 will mark a Lions Club's International Century of Service program, and 2018 will bring a World War I American Veterans Centennial program. Now, I expect that 2017 and 2018 will bring us a second program in each year, but these are the programs that have successfully been approved. I will also note that these programs will issue the typical American commemorative fare. $5 gold, $1 silver, clad $half, which I fully expect to be met with a collective yawn of coin collectors around the world.
Yeah.
Now, what I'd like to say, and this is me, what I'd like to say is that I think we're missing a golden opportunity.
I know of a couple.
To issue coins that people really, really want. 2016 marks the 100th anniversary of what I like to refer to as the Renaissance of American coinage, and would have provided an opportunity to issue coins with designs that people have been absolutely clamoring for, and would have undoubtedly been a huge success. That being the Mercury dime, Standing Liberty quarter, Walking Liberty half. It was a layup, a slam dunk, and they missed it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the kind of change that I hope the new chair of the CCAC will bring, just to bring our news full circle. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll go put away my soapbox while you discuss your opinion. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I'm done. I'm good. We're good. I'm good.
So you're on board with that?
Well, I think some of the programs, they're missing a couple really good opportunities. Like, for example, and this is just because I'm local, but, there are probably others that feel the same way, and actually I've gotten emails about it. But 2016 is the 100th anniversary of the Indianapolis 500. I mean, that's a pretty iconic American event, and that's fine.
It's a race track that they used once a year.
I understand that, but okay, so instead we're going to commemorate the 125th anniversary of Mark Twain.
Oh, dude, you don't have to. Hey, it's not even the guy's real name.
I know. Just saying. It's
I
one of those things.
think you're right that although if you do that, then you got to do something for the NASCAR fans. And
no, forget those guys.
Okay. But anyways, so no, I think you're spot on in the fact that they've been doing the commemorative programs for so long that I think it's just become kind of a knee-jerk thing where they look and they go, okay, what anniversaries do we have coming up this year? Oh, we got this. Yeah. We got, and the problem is that you've got these commemorative programs, and you've got actual designs out there that people have said, hey, can you do this? Will you do this? And it never.
Please do this.
And it just never gets addressed. So I don't know. I just think it's it's missing a golden opportunity, and if Mary Lannon of San Rafael, California, wants to gain at least 2 more huge fans, please put it end to the way things are, to the status quo.
We should totally get her on the show.
I've decided.
It's done.
You should call her.
I'll figure out a way.
There you go.
Hi, this is Beth Deisher. You're listening to The Coin Show.
Matt, do you know what I find difficult about coin collecting?
Finding enough money to buy a 1913 V nickel.
Well, yeah, that too. But what I was going to say was, determining how much your coin is worth. There's plenty of good resources out there like the Red Book, but I don't always trust, my own judgment when trying to determine price. I'd like to have an expert opinion.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes we get a coin that we're kind of on the fence about whether we should send it in or not. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand that.
Well, fortunately, there's an event running or coming up for people who might find themselves in that exact situation. The ANA will be running a free appraisal area at the Chicago's World's Fair of Money on Saturday, August 15th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Oh, I heard they were doing that. They put together a panel of numismatists who will take a look at up to 3 of your items and give you an estimate of the value, right?
That's right. These appraisals are not binding, but they are educational. You just show up with your coins, paper money, tokens, baseball bats, Pete Rose autographs. And one of the ANA panelists will talk to you about what they think it could be worth. Best of all, it's absolutely free.
That is good because from there maybe you can decide if it's worth your time and money to spend. Maybe you can decide if it's worth your money to get it graded or not. So,
well, you're right about that. Plus, did you hear about what happened at the ANA's Atlanta show last year?
now
Someone came in with a 1907 St. Gaudens high relief double eagle that was worth between 15 and 20 grand. The collector who bought it had no idea it was worth so much money, and I would be willing to bet that she left that show in a pretty good mood.
Well, and the coolest thing about the whole deal is it's at the World's Fair of Money, so there are literally thousands of dealers there. So if you find out that what you have is valuable and you want to just turn around and sell it, you can. Or if you want to decide that you want to hold on to it, you can do that too.
And free appraisals are just one of the many cool things happening at the biggest show of the summer. Hint, coin show.
Mm-hmm.
Learn more at worldsfairmoney.com.
This is Dennis Tucker. There's nothing like an interesting rare coin, and there's nothing else like the coin show. That's why I listen to Matt and Mike.
So, Matt, we promised some changes. We promised that we were going to do some new things. That we were going to take a different tack in our second 100 episodes, and for quite a while now, we've had this really phenomenal research staff composed of Sam, and and you know what? There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't kind of let him do his thing instead of us kind of taking the credit for it. So, this is going to be your introduction to our show, Sam. That you're going to be joining us as a feature editor. Does that sound good?
Let's make up a good title for Sam.
We got to find something decent. Maybe we should have a contest and have the friends of the coin show.
Hey, guess what, Mike? I just figured out how we're giving away that blue book. Let's have a contest.
You know
for
what?
Sam's
Here,
official name.
I'll tell you what. I got a better idea. What we can do is we will have a contest for the listeners. We'll put it on our Twitter page, our Facebook page, and our brand new Fans of the Coin Show Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
And we will give whoever gives Sam the best title, as determined by you and me. Sam doesn't get a vote in this, but as determined by you and me, we will give them their choice of a 2015 Blue Book, a copy of the fabulous new book that we're interviewing the author of next week about counterfeit notes, paper money, and lucky pennies, or a copy of Mega Red.
Okay. Great idea.
So that way, if they have, a blue book, or they don't want a blue book, or they have Mega Red, they don't want, it's like there's a little something that you could pick through in my favorite venue, which is numismatic books. So there you go. Contest.
Perfect.
Hot
Beautiful.
Off the press.
We have our contest.
We have our contest.
Well, I'm going to start out by describing a coin to you guys, and I'm going to see if you can guess what I'm talking about to kick off this segment.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Awesome.
All right. So this is the single finest example of this issue. It is a breathtaking gem specimen of the rarest U.S. type coin. While grades are important, they don't always communicate the desirability of a coin. Numerically, this is the best example by a wide margin, the best preserved and the most beautiful. It has a halo of deep coppery toning surrounding both sides, richest on the obverse, where it incorporates hints of dark violet. The overall tone is dark yellow, bright with satiny luster. Both sides show intact cartwheel that is impressive at arm's length, as it is under a glass. The borders are never sharp on this design type, and they retain some of the pre-striking planchet adjustments. Only the most trivial marks are seen. The detail is complete and definitive. This coin has been celebrated by numismatists for over a century. It's been lavished with an embarrassing array of superlatives, called a dream coin, saying that to own this is to own a prize. It's truly one of the finest coins of all time. Any guesses what I'm talking about?
Well, I have a guess. But
it sounds like you should write romance
yeah,
novels.
well, I was going to say, are you reading this out of an auction catalog?
I am reading this out of an auction
Okay, because I was
catalog.
going to say, if not, you should write for auction catalogs.
Oh, and it
Straight
gets-
out of Stax Bowers. Matt, do you have a guess?
Well, I mean, I guess no.
I have
really
a guess.
not. Go ahead.
Okay.
It is a 1-year type coin,
Yes,
1808, quarter
Yes.
eagle.
it is indeed. It is the 1808 quarter eagle from the Brent Pogue collection that just sold for a whopping $2.5 million.
See, he was reading out of a Stax Bowers.
Wow,
Yeah.
man! If I
Oh,
wanted, wow.
Out of
Yep.
all of the quarter eagle designs, it is, I think it's a favorite among many collectors, but it is definitely my favorite. And it is a single year type. It is a larger version of the coin, and they took the design from the draped bust half and used it on the quarter eagle, and they only used it in 1808.
Mm-hmm.
That is right.
And then they replaced it with the smaller head without the draped bust. They took the cleavage out.
This was, yeah, it's a really neat coin.
Bringing a whole new meaning to the word golden bozos. But
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So, this coin was designed by John Reich. His design was the artist's fat mistress, is what people referred it to. So it was sort of a larger version of Lady Liberty, so to say, with the
Plus
Parisian
size.
cap. Exactly. We'll just call it that.
ample.
Plus ample. Ooh.
Ample.
Yes. Very ample version of Lady Liberty.
You know,
And the 1808 is definitely the sort of creme de la creme of the 2.5s.
Yeah.
It's a really, really tough coin. So I work for Matt, and I was in the shop today, and I was talking to Evan about this segment, and I had this realization that there are really two universes of coins, so to say. There are the universe of coins you see sort of every day, even as dealers,
The
and
stuff
this
Mike
could be
can
coins. Yeah, exactly, and really, this could even include stuff that goes up to probably $5,000 or $10,000.
Yeah.
And then there's the coins that are worth more than that are truly like you never
Rare
see.
coins.
Like you see, yeah.
I have a
truly
term
rare.
for those. I've always called those the wonder coins.
Yep,
okay.
that is a good description.
They are definitely
And that's-
stars.
Yep, and that's I gotta say, cat bus quarter eagles, they all fall into that category.
Well, like let me tell you how many of these have walked into the shop in 10 years that I've been doing this. 0. So
And
Yep.
amazing at some of the stuff that has walked in. I mean, over the years, over
yeah, I
the
mean, we
time we've
document
done
all
that
the cool
segment.
stuff.
Yes.
But never ever have I bought a cat bus gold 2.5. I mean, we bought 5s, I bought Cat Bus 5s, but
Now, are you
not
talking about the?
Nats.
Are you talking about the Drape Bust 5 like this one, or are you talking about the the one that looks like the Cap Bust half, or are you talking
Yeah,
about the one with the
yeah.
smaller Liberty head?
I'm talking about the Cat Bus, the one that looks like the Cat Bus half.
Okay, because that
So
is just it is just a cool design.
it is a really cool design. I love, like I said, this coin alone is one of the reasons why I like. Well, I say this coin, but this design alone is one of the reasons that I really like early American stuff because that design is just so cool, especially the early version of it. But
Well, the cool part about it, and this is just my opinion, is that okay, if you look at like the flowing hair dollar, flowing hair wreath cent, it looks like it's primitive. It is one of the very first designs that is done by the U.S. Mint, and then it kind of evolves a little bit into the drape bust design, and then you go to the cap bust, which evolved it one more. It took that concept of having the Liberty cap on Liberty herself and
mhm.
incorporating it into the design while still enhancing it. And it keeps evolving. You go to the cornet and all this other kind of stuff, but I think that that's kind of where it reached a high point in design.
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah. It's cool. Unfortunately, for most people, it's definitely a type coin. I don't think you could put a full set of these together. I mean, maybe if you had millions of dollars to spend, but there's a reason that these coins are extremely tough to find. Because if you think about, like the 1808, for instance, there are other coins minted in 1808 that are a little easier to find. But for some reason, there was never a high demand for $2.50 gold pieces. And an interesting quote I found doing the research for this: a Harvard professor wrote a book in 1892,
Okay.
and he described the United States Mint as a useless expense to the nation at this time. It was not.
Well, I mean,
Yes,
I
it was
think
nothing
Matt
but
would.
a.
I think Matt would
I'm sorry.
describe the current United States Mint as that,
I wasn't going to go there, but
but
yeah.
I'm not inaccurate with my statement.
No, you're not.
The big reason for this, in terms of gold coins, is that basically, for larger gold coins were used in major transactions. I mean, in the 19th century, $2.50 was a week's worth of pay. So just like today, you don't really walk around with a week's worth of pay in your pocket. I mean, this was something that banks used. Um, and the thing is people at the time also would what they do is they'd buy gold coins with Spanish 8 reals or Mexican 8 reals, and then take the gold and melt it at a profit. And this was partially due to the turmoil in Europe. This is the Napoleonic era.
It's
It was
also
just
due to
causing
the insistence on our government's part of a 16-to-1 bimetallic standard.
exactly.
That you cannot have two floating commodities or two commodities that float in price and fix them against each other in price because one is always going to be cheap and the other one expensive relative to each other. It's kind of the way it works.
Mhm. So the basic stats for these is they're minted from 1808 to 1834, with the '08 being its own type. And then there were two types to follow. There was the 1821 to 1827, which was the just sort of a larger Liberty cap, a slightly modified design, and then the small diameter, which followed, which was from 1829 to 1834.
And I
The
personally
eight,
think that the design suffered a bit. It the face was not aesthetically pleasing. It still had the cap and the same basic design, but it was just really more a neck up face with a cap on it. And I mean, just to me, aesthetically, I didn't like the design.
right. Well, it's interesting too. They actually they minted gold till 2.5 gold until 1808, and then there was a huge time where they stopped making it, and all of a sudden there was this desire to make more. And it's been theorized that possibly because the turmoil in Europe had kind of settled by the 1820s, the U.S. was expanding westward, the economy was improving. Banks, for some reason, started asking for small gold again. One interesting theory, though, that I came across was Walter Breen, who is a well-known numismatic researcher. Uh, he guessed that the reason that they started minting them again was that people wanted Christmas presents.
What?
Well, I mean,
He did.
but
He
they
did.
have been a very popular gift at holiday time, and there's a lot to that. When, Sam, did the gold rush start in, and I'm not talking about in the West, but in the Southeast United States, in Carolina and in Georgia?
I believe it was about 1836.
Okay.
Is when
So it's still
they
before
found
that at
gold.
this point.
Correct. And that's the big thing you have to keep in mind, too, is that there just obviously weren't the bullion deposits here in the United States. There was no local source to make them anyway. They had to have everything come from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So they are challenging coins for a lot of reasons. The 1808 is definitely a tough one, as the Pogue example shows. There was only 2,700 struck for that year.
In total.
Anytime total,
Yes.
and anytime one comes to auction, it brings huge money. And beyond the mintage, only about 50 of them are estimated to survive in any grade. So
Well,
it's a really tough coin.
Think about this, though, that no gold typeset is complete without one of these coins, and there were only 2,700 of them minted. So and being a larger size gold coin, a lot of them ended up being melted.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I'm actually just sitting here kind of bebopping through the Heritage website looking at recent sales, and oh boy, they're they're pretty rough.
Mm-hmm. They do get a little bit more affordable as you move on to the modified designs, but there's definitely a lot of like stopper dates. This when they modified the design, basically, John Reich decided to leave the mint because in 10 years he had never gotten a raise. He didn't get along with Robert Scott, and so Scott actually modified the design slightly, and it's still sort of like the crude look to it because it wasn't struck with a closed collar yet.
Which
Basically,
I like.
yeah, it's cool looking, and they're all going to be kind of a little bit different. But because of the change in gold prices, they had to reduce the diameter. And then in 1829, that's when they got the closed collar, and you basically have the cap bust 2.5 that looks like modern coinage.
Well, that was when they started.
It's relatively uniform.
That was when they started making the coins with a steam press.
Correct.
And so the design started really becoming more prominent in the coin. They could do more detail. They could make the coins more intricate. It was definitely a better time for coinage.
Yep. But even so, these the new modified designs are really tough. I mean, I've looked through auction records, and I don't think you can buy one of these for less than about $20,000.
Wow.
I mean, and we're talking. I mean, that's like a lower circulated grade. Most of
That's
them.
an ugly one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
that's
was coming across.
Yep, exactly. And that's an interesting thing about them, actually, is the grading companies are a little bit lenient on them because of that. Actually, if you read the grading guide that NGC has, they actually specify that light cleaning is common, and it is not usually enough to prevent a coin from being certified. So they even openly tolerate a little bit of cleaning on these.
Well, but think about this. If they said, well, we're not going to grade the ones that have been cleaned, that's like 80% of the population of those coins. So,
yeah,
I think that's a self-serving move.
Well, that's market grading at its finest.
Yes, it is.
It really is. Yep. It really is. But they're cool coins. I mean, if you look at the Pogue example, the one that recently sold, it's just it's a gorgeous looking coin, and it's too bad they're not more available. But I guess for our high budget listeners, and there certainly may be some of them, it might be something that you want to consider adding to your set. It's going to take some time and some money to pursue, but they are out there.
Now, I know that the 2.5 1808, it was only made in 1808. Was that design made in more than 1 year on any other coin?
I don't think that specific one was.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Because that's got the 1808 design has the really like almost Santa Claus looking cap on Lady
Yeah,
Liberty.
looks like she has a bag on her head.
Well, it's a bag about free thought, though. Some
Some
bag
kind
of
of bag,
thoughts.
some kind of bag on her
It's a
head.
bag of thoughts.
I'm not gonna make the nasty joke, but
No.
I sure could.
Yeah, definitely cool coins. I mean, they're kind of a different universe, like I said, but it definitely. I mean, it's one of those things that's sort of the story behind them and why they aren't available is just as interesting.
I think so. I like them. I'm not gonna buy one, but I like them.
Well, see, now you get into something at least that both you and I can at least agree on. We both love this coin.
We love this coin, but we'll never own one.
That's also true. Even with you and your vast resources, and
Yeah,
me with
something
my
like that.
meager means, the only way I'm going to own one is if I cut one out of my red book and paste it onto a chip.
Well, maybe at the World's Fair Money, we'll walk around and try to find one to play it. Ooh, I bet we could do that.
You know what? That would be kind of a cool thing. Maybe we should create like a bingo game where we find like 30 impossible coins or 29 impossible coins. Well, no, it's 24 out of bingo. 24 like impossible coins. And then you have to go around the World's Fair Money and see what you can find and try and find bingo.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun idea. Maybe we should do that for the listeners.
Maybe we should.
I have an idea. Let's make a contest out of it. We're going to be there.
We are going to be there. We're going to be there. And from
They
the
can
way
walk around
things
the
are
show and
shaping up,
find it.
we are going to be doing our show again.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And this time I may have made things better yet. I think I might have improved things one more time. So, Matt,
Yes, sir.
we move along into fan favorite and talk about the coolest thing that walked into your shop this week.
Mm-hmm. Well, this week we had a pretty interesting piece come in, and actually we already owned it, so it was kind of weird, but it came back. We bought a really cool Columbian Exposition token that was about the size of a silver dollar. It had Columbus landing on one side and the Expo building on the other side. And we sent it off to NGC to get certified because it was really nice. And they sent it back to us, and they said ineligible type. So I got to kind of thinking. I was like, well, what the heck is wrong? Why can't we get this certified? It's in the Elgit book. I mean, we could figure out where it's from. Then I realized that you can. It's a box coin. I got to tap it on it, and the coin actually opens like a locket. And the gentleman that inside of it was inscribed a guy's name, and I can't remember his name. Sam, do you remember his name?
C.V. McLenithan.
C.V. McLenithan, that's right.
Wow.
And C.V. McLenithan was an Illinois state senator, and also a bank president of a bank in what city was that? Do you remember?
Danville, Illinois.
Danville, Illinois. That's right. So he was a bank president in Danville, Illinois, and his signature actually appears on the national notes from Danville, Illinois. So like our bills do today, they have signatures on the left and the right. Well, back in the national note days, the bank treasurer and the bank president would sign the note.
So you're talking about brown seal national currency.
Yes. So from the National Bank of Danville, Illinois, I think it was the Second National Bank of Danville, Illinois. On those particular notes, you find C.V. McLenithan's signature. So this piece must have belonged to him, or he had it made. There was also a picture of a woman in it, which I'm guessing was his wife. But it was one of those pieces that I didn't even know that it opened when we sent it off to get certified. I had no idea.
So it was exonumia.
It was like doubly exonumia because it was somebody had taken a piece of exonumia and turned it into a box coin, which, is even more exonumia related.
And that's the reason why NGC wouldn't certify it?
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, they discovered that it was a box coin, and I hadn't, because it was really well done. The seam was hidden really well, and
See, so for those of you who wonder if NGC really, really checks out your coin or just gives it a cursory, they actually do look.
Apparently, they did look at this one, or they just sneezed or something and it shook it and opened. Because the way you open it is you actually have to hold it by the rims and kind of tap it against your other hand, and it kind of just jars it open, and then from there you can open it like a locket. It's pretty cool.
That sounds very, very cool.
And I honestly don't even remember where the heck we got it from. I think we got it from a friend of ours that's a dealer out of Danville, which would make sense. He buys a lot of estates and stuff. But, it's been around the shop for probably 6 months, and then we decided to send it to NGC, and then it came back, So that's...
Well, have you changed your opinion on its value since you found this fact?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, I don't
The price just went up.
Well, the cool thing is it covers a lot of different genres there, but they all kind of intermingle because it has the Columbian Expo thing going on. It has the Illinois thing going on, which was where the Columbian Expo was at, of course. In Chicago. It has the fact that this guy was somebody. He was a state senator of Illinois. He was president of a bank. So there's a lot of different kind of genres there that kind of all commingle to make this a really kind of a cool and unique piece. And we did research. I couldn't find anything like it from the World's Fair money. So.
Hi, this is Bob Shippey, and you're listening to The Coin Show.
We'd like to thank our contributors, the people that wrote to us, offered suggestions and ideas, posted to social media, asked questions, or in some other way supported or inspired us. That includes all of our friends at the Google Hangout. It's been really fun. A big thanks to you, the listeners, without whom this entire endeavor would be completely pointless. Our thanks to the great folks at the American Numismatic Association for their support. Visit them at money.org. Thanks to the Coffin Cats for the use of their music. Visit them at coffincatsrock.com. And thanks to Tony Alvarez and the Tony Alvarez Band for our theme music. Visit them at tonyalvarezband.com. Also, a huge thank you to Sam the Man Schaefer for research and other social media work when he's not being driven by Matt.
Much obliged.
Visit our webpage at coinshowradio.com. There you'll find links to listen to or to download all of our episodes. You can make comments on our shows there. Ask us questions through our link to questions@coinshowradio.com. Check current precious metal prices. Read my book recommendations blog, or see some pictures of the cool stuff that walks into Matt's shop. You'll also find links to all of our social media pages there. Please come and share your thoughts with us. Tell us how we can improve your experience, or just enjoy the ambience. Whichever you like to do, share our site and our podcast with your friends. It makes you look cool. It makes you look cooler, smarter, and ahead of the curve. So for the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll talk to you next time on the Coin Show.
I can tell by the way you look at me that it will not be forever, but that's all right with me. But tonight,
There's probably a good 40 minutes of good show in there somewhere. I don't like that anymore. We're not even going to use that.
All right. Sorry, it was hailing.
It was hailing?
It was hailing.
Hailing
yeah,
Caesar?
Hailing ice.
Oh, okay. Wait until next episode when we do that commercial. We're going to destroy it. We did it straight once for you.
I ad-libbed the crap out of that.
Oh, that was great. That was perfect.
I got the gist.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Let's not put
It
any more.
will get taken care of.
Okay.
One way or another.
One way or the other.
Oh,
that's
Sam,
right.
or I get it. Matt doesn't want me loading you down with he's being nice.
Yeah.
He's being a good guy for a change.
Take note of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
Here's your Christmas bonus, kid.
Yeah.
Now, screw off. Let's wrap this baby.
I'm gonna wear that stuff out. I swear to God. That's my new goal in life. See, first it was to aggravate the piss out of Matt, and I've gotten pretty good at that. I can do that pretty much without even trying now.